Okay, all right. Hi everyone. I hope that I'm live now. If I'm not, how should I put here? Pop-up chat. Okay, all right. Before I start, can anyone reply or can anyone respond to me that the live is okay? The live is kind of pretty good, or it's live now? Because like I said, this is my first time making live video. Anyone can please respond? Yes. Okay. All right. So yes, thank you so much. And yes, thank you and thank you and thank you. Thank you for waiting and thank you for watching this YouTube channel. So welcome for the one who are actually new to this channel. Welcome. And then my name is Cikgu Hazim or Mr. Hazim, or just call me Hazim. Not a problem. So I will be revising and I will be teaching you guys for IGCSE Mathematics 0580, and the chapter that I will be revising is chapter 1. Okay, so if anyone have any question regarding this chapter 1 or which certain topic, just put it in the chat, just put it in the live chat there. Okay, I can see it there. I hope that I can see it, or not. I just hope that I can see it. Yes, all right, good. So if it's good, the chat is responding very slow. I'm sorry about that. I hope everything is clear lah. By the way, can you see that the one on my screen here is number facts? I'm just scared that you guys can't see it. I'm also chaotic here. Can you see the one that I'm sharing in front here is number fact? You know what? It's supposed to have a 2 screen here, which is the chat I put it on my other's monitor, but I don't have an extra monitor. It's just these things. Yes, all right, good. If you can see it, that's fine. Okay, all right, it's fine. So that you are okay with it. Let's straight away with this revision. So in chapter number 1 here, of course you need to understand that in mathematics, in chapter 1 here we have a lot of other things. Number 1, arithmetic, number facts and sequence, approximation and estimation, standard form, ratio and proportion, percentages, speed, distance and time, and mixed problem. And of course lastly is the way we type in the calculator. Alright, this is a new textbook. The one with your textbook may be a bit different, but we're still following the same thing. So in chapter number 1 here, the first thing, and first of all, of course, I'm gonna need you to understand about number facts. So of course in number facts, nothing much, all about facts here, and they're not gonna ask you a very detail about number facts here. You just need to know the basic of math, okay, for this number facts. Of course, you need to know about the integer. Integer is a whole number, nothing much. And then the constant here, which is the constant is the coefficient of a certain variable. If we have the x square here, that means the number in front is called constant. Okay, all right. So and then after that here, and then after the even number. For even number here, please be very detailed and careful about this, because for even number we know that everything can be divided by 2. But how do you know that everything can be divided by 2? You just look at the last digit. When you look at the last digit, when that last digit is even number, which is 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0, that means they are even number. Okay, but if the last digit, if we have a bigger number, as for an example, wait, I haven't connected my pen here. Okay, if we have a bigger number, as for an example, 1, 1, 3. Okay, why it does not write? Oh, when I'm streaming, it's kind of a mess. Everything is not in order. I cannot even write it. What's wrong? Hey, what happened? Why I cannot write anything? I can write something here, but why I cannot write something in OneNote? Guys, don't just stand there and put a chat, okay? Please, we here to study. So like I said, for even number, if we have a bigger number, okay, for an example, the number here is 3350. How do you know that is even number? Just look at the last digit. If the last digit is even number, which is 0, 0 is part of the even number, which can be divided by 2, they are even number. And the other way around, which is odd number, if the last digit is not even number, that means they are odd number. That's all. It's quite simple. Okay, so prime number is also another thing that is very, very important. That the number that can only be divided by itself and number 1 only. So I already told you in these things, or maybe I put it over here where we are talking about number facts. Yeah, I'm going to use these notes here. Yeah, prime number. And these things, please, I already told you, make sure you memorize the prime number from 2 to 11 or from 2 to 7. That would be good. That would be already great enough. From 2 to 7 is already very good that you memorize. Why? Because a certain kind of a big number, you need to check whether they are prime number or not. Which is, how do you check that? You try to divide it with a smaller prime number. For an example, 91. You want to check whether 91 is a prime number or not. So you divide it with a smaller prime number. If can divide it, that means that they are not a prime number. Means that a prime number is only can be divided by itself and 1 only. Alright, that's the thing. So that is a prime number, nothing much. Next thing, rational number. Remember, number that can be expressed in fraction. Please always remember that. 4, of course, can be over 1. That's a fraction. Square root of 5, 5 over 1. This is a mixed number. And recurring also can be expressed as a fraction. Later, I'll show it to you how to do the recurring decimals. Irrational, the number that cannot be expressed in fraction. Very simple. Square number, cube number, nothing much, and not going to ask that much, but that's how we do. So that is for number facts. And then after that, fraction. For fraction, also not going to tell you that much for this introduction of a fraction. But please be very, very careful when the addition and subtraction in fraction, okay? Make sure if addition and subtraction, you need to make the denominator value are similar first before you do any operation. And I recommended you to change everything to become improper fraction first. We know that we have a mixed number here, but I suggest you and I recommended you to change that thing into improper fraction. You may ask me, teacher, what if I have another method and the same answer? It's not going to be a big problem. In the marking scheme, they're not going to tell you not from wrong working. So most of the time in mathematics, they're not going to tell you not from wrong working. So your method, and if the answer is correct, it's going to be correct. You're going to get a full marks. That's the thing. Okay. It's kind of chaotic here. If you span the chat, I don't know who asking the question and who's not. But anything, guys. Please, if you do have a question, just put the question and just put the thing in the chat here. Okay. I hope it's fine, and I hope that you already understand that. Make sure you always need to make the denominator the same first. If you can't understand it, refer back to my previous video. I have uploaded this fraction video already. Okay, and then multiply and fraction. There's also not going to be that much of a confusing stuff here. Okay, you just need to know how to simplify, and the way we simplify are this direction. Okay, which is both can be divided by one number, but which of the thing can be divided by the same number. For example, 3 and 21 here, both can be divided by 3. The 3 divided by 3 is 1, 21 divided by 3 is 7. Then you're going to have 23 over 1 multiplied by 7 over 2. Then we multiply top and top, bottom and bottom. The operation of fraction or the working in fraction is supposed to be easy. I really expect that it's going to be easy for you guys. We have learned this thing back in primary. You guys are already secondary. Okay, these are already basics. And division, I already told you. In division is that we need to follow this step. The step is that you change every number to become in fraction form first, and then you need to change divide to become multiply and invert the second fraction. Now the first one, just invert the second fraction. For an example, 21 over 5 divided by 7 over 1. Okay, so when you divide is 7 over 1, divide become multiply, 7 over 1 it become 1 over 7. Then you proceed with multiply. And these are the example, and I hope that you are clear with it. Okay, I hope nothing much. Then let's continue with the next thing, fraction and decimal. Oh, fraction decimal also nothing much, it's just so basics here. Seriously, it's very basics. Okay, next thing, sequence, quadratic sequence, not gonna learn that thing yet. But for this one, rounding off, okay, even though I haven't touched on this thing in the class very detailed, but I don't think it's gonna be that hard. This is also the thing that you have learned back in primary. Okay, so you need to know what are their digit value and decimal places first. We know in decimal number, which is this decimal point here, to the left the number are whole number, which is this is digit value for ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000, million, and you can continue. But what if on the right side? What if the direction is on the right side? Which is the first point, the first number after the decimal point. This one we call as the first decimal place or one decimal place. Then when you continue to the right, it will continue become 2 decimal place, 3 decimal place, 4 decimal place. And what are their digit value? This we call as a tenth. TH behind here. TH behind means 1 over 10 or 1 out of 10. And the next one, hundredth, which is 1 out of 100. This is thousandth, 1 out of thousands, and this is 10,000, as you can continue and so on here. Okay, so significant number is also nothing much, which is you need to know where to start to calculate the significant number. That's all. So 0 in front of number in decimal is not significant. How? Let's look at these several example, which is I'm going to show it to you the example which related with the number here. With my pen is not working for some reason. Alright, let's look at the example number 7 here. Okay, let's look at example number 7. We know that it's going to be 0.00747. So round off to the nearest whole number. Here, nearest whole number. Where is the whole number? Where's the first whole number? So the first whole number here, 0.00747. This is the first whole number here. Yeah, this is the whole number. So when they say nearest whole number, then you underline this thing, look at the number on the right. If it's 0, then you plus 0. There's nothing much you're going to do about it. So when you round off, it's still going to be 0. That's how we do. Okay, for the nearest whole number. What if the 3 significant figures? Okay, as I told you, the 0 in front of number in decimal is not significant. So 0.00747, okay, look where to count the 3 significant figure. Is this significant? No. Is this significant? No, because like I said, 0 in front of the decimal number is not significant. How about this thing? Is it significant? No. So where is the third significant figures? Alright, so the third significant figure, this is going to be the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So when that is the third one, you look at that 0.00747, and the right number is 0. So how to round off? And you underline these things, and the number on the right is 0. It's still going to be 0.00747. Okay? And decimal place, I don't think that I need to explain it because it should be simpler. It should be simpler. That's the thing. Okay? Alright. Yeah, I think you guys should focus to here. I think you can stop. You may think that, oh, so fun to have a live here. You may have a fun time. You may laugh now, and tomorrow, if you having a hard time doing the exam paper, I'm gonna laugh back at you. Alright, trust me. And don't blame me. I already tell you. Please focus. Okay. And like I told you, the revision week handout or the revision week gift that I give it to you before, I would say that it's harder than exam paper. Okay. Teacher, can you teach Amy? What's that? Ama. Shout out to what? Shout out what? To Isaac? Yeah, what is that? What is AME? Is it at math? At math is not this day. Alright, not everyone is taking AMAT. Yeah, I'm gonna teach topic time, no problem. Alright, we will be there. I hope that by rounding off is okay. Now we'll talk about boundaries. Oh, these boundaries here. Not all students remember about these things. Remember, please remember boundaries. Okay, so boundaries, if we are talking about the number that is uncertain, or if we are measuring the approximate value, we are measuring the things that is not certain. The line is not certain. So when the line is not certain, the line is not like you truly sure 100% is that line, you're gonna have a possible value. You're going to have a minimum possible value, you're going to have a maximum possible value. As for an example, when you are measuring something that length is 45 centimeter, that is not that accurate. The actual length that you are measuring with your bad device, it could be anything from 44.5 to 45.4999999. Why? Because if these two number here, I rounded off to the nearest centimeter, it's still going to be 45 centimeter. So we can round off and we can make it simplify. It's still going to be 45 centimeter, right? So from here we need to understand that 44.5 and 45.49999 here, we can simplify this thing to become a boundary of lower and upper boundary. Okay, which is 45.4999. I can simplify to become 45.5. And this diagram here is telling that the number and the region that is, when you round off to the nearest centimeter, it will be that value, which is the lower boundary become 44.5 and the upper boundary was 45.5. And look the diagram carefully. This on the upper boundary is a dotted line. Dotted line means what? It will be just less than. But if it's dashed line here, it will be more than and equal. That's why I wrote the inequalities underneath here. So that the value here, it will never touch 45.5. It will only play everything that is less than 45.5, which is 45.49999 until infinity. Okay, that's how we talk about it. So how to find the upper and lower boundaries? So just follow my step here. Most of the time here, they will tell you is that the number is to the nearest what value. Okay, so you identify first. Identify to the nearest what value first. You identify what value. After you already identified that value, straight away to step number 2 is the value that you already identified divided by 2. Then your actual length or your actual measurement or actual thing, you plus minus with the value that has been divided by 2. So of course, if plus, they're going to be upper boundary. If minus, going to be lower boundary. Okay, so let's look at this example here. I'm just going to give you one example. But why sometimes my pen is not working. I don't know why. Or maybe my cable. Like I said, this thing is already back in 2000. I can't remember. It has been 2 years, and this is not that. What happened here? What happened? Why am I lagging? And why I'm stopped? I think this one is making a problem, but it's okay. It is making a problem. Let me settle this thing first. It is making a problem. Yeah, I hope that's okay now. All right, yeah. So I'm going to show it to you one example only, which is look at the example, at the last example there, which is time taken to run 100 meter is 13.6 seconds to the nearest 0.1 second. So like I said, the first step is identify to the nearest what. So when you already identify to the nearest here, so to the nearest 0.1 second. You already identified the thing, then this value divided by 2. When you divide it by 2, it's going to be 0.05 second. Okay? Then what you need to do after that? What you need to do is that you take the actual value here, 13.6 second, you plus and minus with this value. So you plus minus with what? Plus with 0.05 second, and here minus with 0.05 second here. Then your upper boundary is going to be 13.65 second, and your lower boundary is going to be 13.55 seconds. Please remember that. Okay, please remember that. Always follow this step. Identify to the nearest what value first, and then when you already identify that value, divided by 2, and then your actual length and the length that you wanted to do with, and then you plus minus with the value that has been divided by 2. That's the thing. Okay, I hope it's clear. Is it clear? Anyone? Or can I continue? Bao Yu, can you please respond? Or anyone please respond? Or let me make a shout out here. Shout out to Kingsley. I don't know who are you. Of course, for sure that tomorrow you're gonna tell me who is that. But why I can't see? Yeah. Okay. Yes. It's clear. I hope it's clear. Okay. Good. Yeah. Continue, please. Very good. Next thing. This is the problem in mathematics here, right? Which is, this is the question that always gonna giving you a hard time, where the situation gonna give you a minimum and maximum possible values. It plays with the it plays with the lower and upper boundary. So you already identify minimum, already identify lower and upper boundary. But here is the thing that we need to calculate, that both value is also have a boundaries. So if the length is calculated between two uncertain length, we can have minimum and maximum possible length. For an example, we want to calculate the length between 3 and 8 centimeter here. Example. So we know that 3 have the upper boundary of 3.5 and lower boundary of 2.5. 8 have an upper boundary 8.5 and lower boundary of 7.5 to the nearest centimeter. So the maximum possible length here is that we take the upper boundary of a bigger number minus with the lower boundary of a smaller number. That's why you can see the possible length here, the length is going to be maximum. And the minimum possible length here, the lower boundary of a bigger number minus the upper boundary of a smaller number. So you can see the diagram here. I hope it's clear. Alright, I really hope it's clear. If it's not clear, maybe you can pause it or screenshot or anything, or just refer to the notes that I gave it to you. I asked you to copy my class. Bao Yu, stop. Yeah, stop that. Listen, please listen to this, or not I make a shout out here. Okay, stop that. And next thing here, very important, please, it's very important. There are certain things that I forgot to tell you in the class, which is if the problem is involving perimeter, which with the problem that is only involving plus only, that the calculation is only involving plus, the maximum possible length or maximum possible thing is that you only take upper boundary plus with upper boundary plus with upper boundary, and you only play with upper boundaries. And if it's minimum, you only play with lower boundary, and lower boundary. That's it. That's the thing. Okay? But if the problem is involving plus only, if the problem is involving area or volume where you need to do multiply, the maximum still gonna play upper boundary and upper boundary. Oh wait, I lost my stuff. Sorry, I dropped something. Okay. Okay, sorry, I dropped something. So, if, like I said here, if the problem involving multiply, and this one I already give it to the notes here, but if the problem is involving divide, remember divide here. If the problem is involving divide, you need to make sure you take for a maximum possible value, you take the upper boundary divided by lower boundary. And if you want to have a minimum value, that the problem involving divide, then you're going to take lower boundary divided by upper boundary. In what situation you're going to have the divide? Look back on the revision week handout. There is a working that involving divide. And here, let me show you to you an example that involving divide too. A car travels at a constant speed. What is the formula of the speed? Speed is equal to distance over time. Please remember that. Okay. So when we already understand that speed distance equal to time, it traveled a distance of 146.2 meter, correct to one decimal place. So 146.2 meter, and they say correct to one decimal place. So one decimal place is 0.1. What's that? What's the next thing? Divide by 2, you're going to get 0.05. Then you plus minus with 0.05. So here plus with 0.05 and here minus with 0.05. Your lower boundary is going to be 146.15 meter, and here would be 146.25 meter. Okay, I hope it's clear. And then after that, it takes 7 seconds to the nearest second. If they didn't say the value, it's going to be 1 second. So we have a 7 second here to the nearest what value? To the nearest 1 second. Then divided by 2, you're going to get 0.5. Then you play with that 0.5 here. This one plus with 0.5. This one you minus 0.5. You're going to get 6.5 second. And here you're going to get 7.5 second. Work out the upper bound for the speed. Like I said, upper bound is also talking for maximum. And your calculation is involving divide. So if you want to have a maximum speed here, or upper bound of the upper bound of the speed here, as I told you, maximum upper bound divided by lower bound. So your distance here is going to be upper bound, and then your lower your time here is going to be lower boundary to have a maximum. So where is the upper bound? Upper bound of a distance here. Okay. Oops. Unfortunately, my cable here is always keep on disconnecting. Everything here is cheap stuff. Okay, but I hope that you still can see lah. So upper bound of a distance here. Where is the upper bound of the distance? Upper bound of distance is going to be here, which is 146.25 meter. This is the upper bound. And where is the lower bound of a time? Lower bound of a time is going to be here, which is 6.5 second. This is the lower bound of time. Then you continue this working. So distance is 146.25 meter divided by 6.5 second. Then you press it in your calculator. Alright? Wait, let me open my calculator. 146.25 here. Okay? 146.25 divided by 6.5. Then what you're going to have? 22.5 to 22.5 meter per second. That's how we do it. I will upload this video later on about this thing, but I already show it to you so that you already understand. And I hope it's clear. There will be an example here. Okay? Yeah, there will be an example. Beverly, Bowen, Zain, stop that. Okay, stop that. We are here to study. So, as I showed it to you previously, I want you to go back to have a look at your revision week paper here, and I already gave the answers to you in the Google Classroom. This is the question that involving divide and also involving the boundaries. So please have a look at this question and please study carefully with the one that we have a live video class right now. Okay, I hope that's done and I hope it's clear because I want to continue to the next thing. So we're done with that thing, and then after the estimation, nothing much. Estimation is that the number that you need to round off to each number to the nearest what value if it's stated. For an example, write down each number correct to one significant figure. So every number you need to round off to the nearest one significant figure first before you do the working. Don't do the working then you round off. No. Round off every number first before you do the working. Please, if the question asks you to show all the working, you need to show the working. Okay, please remember that thing. Okay, all right. Next thing, standard form. I didn't put it yet, but standard form. Yeah, for standard form here, I believe I also gave you the notes about it. So standard form is just a short form of a number. Where short form of number here need to understand we have positive and negative, and it must be a times 10 to the power of n, which is a must be between 1 until 10, but it is actually more than equal than 1 and less than 10, so you play between 1 until 9 point something lah. Okay, so if it's positive, please remember that the original point it come from right. I already told you if positive come from right, so even if you want to plus the value, it need to move from right. But if it's negative, the point comes from left. These are the example. Okay, so how do you want to do addition and subtraction for our standard form here? If you can use calculator, make sure you put a bracket first. Okay, but if you want to make like I said, if you want to plus the standard form manually, you need to make it as a bigger power. For some reason, this one I use an old method, but the new method here, as I told you, you need to make the power similar and convert to a bigger power. As I show it to you here, all right, let's use this example. 3.21 times 10 to the power of 5 plus with 1.6 times 10 to the power of 3. Compare the power. We have power of 5 and power of 3. Which one is bigger? 5 is bigger. So we need to make 3 to become 5. Okay, which is converted to a bigger power. So here become plus 2. Alright, so if it's plus 2 here, if it's positive 2 and plus 2, you need to move the point from right 2 times. 1, 2. So this new point and here. So that your new value, it would be 3.21 times 10 to the power of 5. And here it will be 0.016 times 10 to the power of 5. If it's already times 10 to the power of 5, you don't disturb that thing, and when you plus it, it's still going to be times 10 to the power of 5. And then you plus the decimal as usual. Then here going to be 622.3. That is your answer. Please remember that thing. Okay? And that's all about it. That's all about it. Please. Okay? But for multiply and divide, I don't think it's going to be really coming out for the exam. But if it's for multiply here, for multiply and divide in standard form, you need to divide and multiply according to their number and according to their power. For example, 1.2 times 10 to the power of 4 multiplied by 3.2 times 10 to the power of 2. Then you multiply accordingly, decimal with decimal, power with power. 1.2 times 3.2 becomes 3.84. And 10 to the power of 4 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2, you need to apply the rule of indices here. Then it's going to be 10 times 10 to the power of 4 plus 2, because if 10 multiplied by 10, the power will be added. Okay, so it's going to be, that's your final answer. Just look at it. I hope it's clear. Wait. Okay, alright. Then for divide, the same thing, nothing much. But the power, if it's divide, you're going to minus. For example, negative 2 minus negative 5 here. 10 to the power negative 2 divided by 10 to the power negative 5. So it's going to be 10 to the power negative 2 minus negative 5. And negative minus means negative become positive. That's why it's going to be 10 to the power of negative 2 plus 5 is 3. That's your answer. Okay? And make sure, don't forget to bring your calculator. After we're done with that, ratio and proportion, I teach you a lot of time talking about cross multiply. I don't want to touch on that. Okay, seriously, it's so simple, and I don't want to be that long. I teach you here so that at least you have a time to study with a guidance. Next time, I mean like the next 30 minutes here, after this and the rest of the night, you study on your own. Okay, please remember that. I already told you many times that the method that we use is cross multiply. The value that we can cross, we multiply. The remaining, we divide it. Okay, please remember that. And percentage, similar method. In percentages here, we have simple in percentage. Percentage increase, decrease, reverse percentage, and all the thing here. Same method, cross multiply, compare with it. And remember, the original always the 100%. Always the original value is 100%. And you need to understand which going to be the original value. Just go through with the handout that I gave it to you and look and try to do on your own and look the answer that I gave it to you in the Google Classroom. You should be okay. Okay, and reverse, increase and decrease here. Everything is here and everything has been told in class, has been taught in class. But I do understand that most of you guys are absent during during interest here. So this is the thing that I'm going to teach you about simple and compound interest. Okay. By the way, yes, Mr. Nimal. Teacher, if I got any question, can I DM you in Discord? Maybe yes, maybe yes, you may. But how about you put that thing in the discussion in Discord, because I haven't had my dinner yet. After this, I'm going to have my dinner. And after I have my dinner, I'm going to be so tired. After I have so tired, I won't looking at the phone anymore. So most probably I'll just sleep and just see you guys tomorrow. So even tomorrow, we still have time. Which is after your exam in the morning, you still have time in the middle. You still can come and see me. Alright? So, yes. you can put the question in the Discord. I hope the other can help it. All right, the other can help you to understand. So when we are talking about interest here, we have two type of interest. So, but then what does it mean by interest first? Interest here, this is just my own understanding to help you understand, is the extra charge money on the principal or your starting money that depend on percentage. Okay, so it means like it is the extra charge or extra money. Okay, it's extra money. It can be borrowing. Borrowing can have interest. Investing can have interest. That's our part of the thing. Okay, so what is the principal? What is the starting money? I could say it's the money that you park there. But the example here, Bank A, it offer you 10% interest annually or per annum. It means yearly, which per year. So if you invest 1,000 ringgit, so you're gonna wait for 1 year to complete. So when 1 year completed, then you're gonna get extra 1,000. You're gonna get extra 10% of 1,000 that you put it there. So what is the 10% of 1,000? 10% of 1,000 is 100 ringgit. So that means you park your money 1,000 there in the Bank A. At the end of the first year, you will get 100 ringgit extra for you. That's what we call as interest. Okay, so 100 ringgit extra for you. You're doing nothing. Just imagine that you're doing nothing for the whole year. You just park the money there in January, and on December or January of the next year, when you want to withdraw back your money, you're gonna get extra 100 ringgit. That's how we deal with interest or investment. Just imagine that if you put the money there, bigger number. You put 1 million, how much you're gonna get? You put more than that, how much you're gonna get? Okay, but that's just a concept. So you have two type of interest, which is simple and compound interest. Where simple interest is that where you park the money and the percentage is counted per annual. Remember, for simple interest here, the principal will not change and it have a fixed value. And every year, it will still count 10% of the starting year. Example, in 2020, you park 1,000 ringgit. So in the first year, at the end of the first year, how much did you get? You're going to get 10% of the first year. At the end of the second year, you're still going to get 10% of the first year. The next year, on the third year, 10% still on the first year. So that's why every year you're going to get 100, 100, 100. Why? Because 10% of 1,000 is 100, 100, 100. That's the thing. That is for simple interest. But for compound interest here is that the principal is always changing, it's always on increasing. It's based on the previous year. Always remember that it's always based on the previous year. So if you put 1,000, okay, and the bank offer you 10% for compound interest, okay. So for an example, in 2020, you park the money 1,000 ringgit. So at the first year, yes, that's fine. 10% of 1,000, you're going to get 100 ringgit. So now your money is going to have 1,100. If you keep on continuing investing, on the next year, the 10% will no longer based on 1,000. So your 10% will be based on the previous year, which is 10,000, which is 10% of 1,100. That's why you're going to get 110. And next thing, so when 1,100 plus with 110, which is 10% of the previous year, your money now is 1,210, which when you want to invest for the next year, it will be counted 10% of 1,210. So 10% of 1,210 is going to be 121. So on the next year, it plus with 121. So every year, the 10% will be more and more and more. You see, for the first year, 100. Second year, 110. The third year is 121. So when you total up at the end of the third year, you're going to get 1,321. Compared to the simple interest, you only get 1,300. That's where you see the difference. Okay? Who I believe you guys so enjoy with this live chat here. Oh, you spam this thing a lot. But it's okay, all right, it's okay. That's your choice. Please, I'm going to remind you, my student, that's your choice. Don't blame me later. That's your choice to play, okay? All right, that's your choice to put to spam the live chat. When it comes to the exam tomorrow, don't blame me. Don't blame me that the exam is hard. Don't blame me you don't know how to do. I already give you everything to help you. Okay? Yes, enough of that. And here, please remember the formula. Okay, because the formula will not be given. You need to memorize the formula on your own. So for simple interest, I equal to PRT over 100, which is I here is only calculate for your interest. P is your parking money or your principal. R is always your percentage, and T is your time in years. For compound interest, remember, whenever the words came out in exam is exponentially. Exponential or exponentially, that's the key words to use compound interest. Where even you see this word exponentially, straight away write down A equal to P bracket 1 plus R over 100 to the power of T. Remember the formula, which is A is the matured value, the value that you plus with the principal. So matured value is that your principal plus with the interest. Compared to simple interest formula, you only calculate interest. But here you calculate principal plus with the interest, the one that have been matured here. Okay, so that's the difference. P is still the principal, R is the rate, and T is time in years. So that would be it for simple and compound interest. In detail and in further, please go back, refer to my notebook and refer to my revision work here, revision paper. Okay? Yes. Oh my God, I already gave everything in the Google Classroom. Come on, be alert. Nothing much. And after that, yeah, recurring. I forgot to teach you recurring. Okay. This is, I believe this is second last things. Okay. So recurring here, I name it on my own. That recurring is called by name by reoccurring. It's just on my own to make you understand. So how you want to convert recurring to recurring decimal to fraction? First of all, expand the long decimal first, and then let the long decimal is equal to x. Then you multiply the first long decimal by 10 or 100 and let it as 10x or 100x. And then you minus the third equation here, the third value, with the second value here and solve the equation. How? Example 0.3 recurring here. The dot on top means that there's a recurring. It means 0.333333 until infinity. You make it as x first. After you make it as x, you multiply by 10. It's one digit, you multiply by 10. It's going to be 10x equal to 3.333. Then what did you do? You make 10x minus x. So 10x minus x also equal to 3.333 minus 0.333. That means that this recurring would be cancelled. When this recurring cancelled, so it's just left with 3 minus 0. So if it's 3 minus 0, it's just going to be 3. So that's why your recurring is going to be 3 and 9x equal to 3, which is 3 out of 9. And you can simplify 1 over 3. Can you not simplify? It can. Because most of the time in exam and marking scheme, they would put OE. Even if you study on your own, look at the marking scheme of the IGCSE paper, they're going to put the label of OE. What does it mean? Or equivalent. It's still equivalent, not a problem. Okay? 0.7 still. But here, what if 0.13 and the dot is on the second decimal? I already told you this is the thing that I already asked you to memorize and copy. You need to multiply by 10 first, then you multiply by 100. If you multiply by 10, you're going to get 10x, which is 1.333. If you multiply by 100, it's going to be 100x, it's going to be 13.333. Then you take 100x minus 10x, you're going to get 13.333 minus 1.333. The recurring will be cancelled, it's just left 13 minus 1, you're going to get 12. And you divide by 90, you're going to get 12 over 90, which is 2 over 15. And that's the thing. I hope it's clear. I really hope it's clear. If it's not clear, go back to my notes. And the last thing here, significant number, nothing much currency, or nothing much speed, distance, and time. So, in speed, distance, and time here, speed and distance not gonna be that much, but I'm gonna talk about time here. Okay. The time, yeah. For adding the time, I really suggest you, if you add all the working, or you put all the working for time in 24-hour system, so that you plus hour and hour, minute with minute. But if 12-hour system, I'm just worried that you could confuse with AM and PM, because AM can only until 12 AM. After that, after 12 PM, it's gonna go start with 1 PM. It will never go 13 PM. That's why I suggest you to go with 24-hour system. And when you plus 2 hour with hour, minute and minute, look at over here, 11 plus 2 is going to be 13, and 14 plus 55 minutes is going to be 69. Can you have 69 minutes? No, you're not going to have 69 minutes. So what you do? So what you do here is that if it's not, it doesn't make sense, you minus 60 and you plus 1 hour on the left, because it means that the minute clock or the minute needle is already rotated for one revolution already. So it's already 1 hour. That's why you need to plus it. Okay. Even what if it plus with the advance of the next day, which is, for an example, 21:30 plus with 6 hours and 45 minutes. You're gonna see that your hour is 27 hours. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense, because one day is only have 24 hours. So if it's like that, it means it's already happened on the next day. The time is already reaching on the next day. So that's why you need to minus 24 hours, as in the time is already advanced to the next day. And minutes still the same thing. It cannot be more than 60 minutes. That's the thing. But over here, I told you that whenever we have a time ahead, you need to minus, time delay, you need to plus. If the flight travel is already been given. If the flight travel is already been given, how do you say? Yeah, if the flight travel is something like, you need to find the flight travel time. If the arrival time has been given, the arrival and the departure time has been given, you follow this step. Okay, if I want to explain it here, yeah, it's going to be a bit hectic. Okay, but the time ahead means that it's already on our east here, and if time delay is on the west. Okay, I already put this stuff, and you already understand this, most of the thing, and I hope that you are clear. Okay, I really hope that my effort here to help you, it's helpful. I really hope so. If it's not helpful, try to ask the help from your friend in Discord. I need to go have my dinner now. It's a bit late. And yeah, good luck for your exam tomorrow. I will open the Discord later lah, just for a while. But yeah, okay. So that would be it for this live video. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being here. To listen to this 45-minute lesson here. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much again. Thank you, and thank you for supporting. If any of you guys is not my student, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you can subscribe, and yeah, share this channel to your friends, so that the knowledge is delivered to your friend. Okay, so yeah, please press like, hit the button like, share and subscribe for more video and for daily video. Starting tomorrow, I will upload at math video. Okay, so get ready, and thank you guys, and bye bye. And how do I end this thing? Yes, bye bye guys.